All right. I need to eliminate Jindosh and find Anton Sokolov.
Chris White, how are you, mate?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm going to get right into this because you've been playing probably one of a lot of people's most anticipated games, I would say, of this year in Dishonored 2. Still without the U in it, isn't it? But you went to Bethesda and played. I mean, how long did you play? It was a couple of hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 hours. I got to see one of the levels. I think it was the fourth mission, I was told, called the Clockwork Mansion. I got to play as both Corvo and Emily. And from the impressions of 2 hours, it's not a lot in terms of how big the game's going to be, but you got a good idea of how Emily was. That was the kind of the more interesting of the whole experience I was looking forward to, because we played as Corvo before, but Emily's brand new.
Okay, and so what's different then? Like, what feels different about her?
Okay, so in terms of kind of control of both characters, they're very, very similar. They move pretty much the same kind of pace. They jump the same. Emily maybe feels a little bit faster, but it's more in the supernatural abilities where the real differences are. So she's got some pretty cool maneuvers compared to Corvo. So there's one of the things called the Shadow Walk, and it basically turns you into those when you're in the game called the Darkness, when you scuttle along the floor, like that kind of. It feels like that.
Okay.
Or when you play in the Alien in Alien vs Predator, and you just scuttle along the floor.
Right.
You're kind of sneaking up on people, and then you're picking them up with your abilities, dangling them in the air, and then stabbing them in the chest. And it just looks good, but it's very effective. So, and it's just good if you can manage to string that together with some of the other silent attacks. So it really helps with stealth-based gameplay, which is obviously what Dishonored's all about.
So I saw you do some sort of move with her, where there's like two guys in either side of a doorway, and they were sort of linked somehow, and you killed one and it killed the other. Was that the power, or?
Yeah, that's the other kind of power we got to see called Domino. And you can literally connect them by this kind of thread, just this light that will, whatever you do to the first guy, will kind of bring the second one along with them. So there's a few instances where I used it. One of them, there was two guys outside the lift overlooking like a barrier into a dirty, filthy pool of water. I attached them together, then attacked the first one, knocked him over the barrier, and then he dragged the other one with him. So
is that magic then, or you say powers?
It's the supernatural abilities.
Okay.
So it's very similar to the first one, where
I suppose so.
I'm assuming you'll get quite a lot. I mean, these were just a few, so it'll be interesting to see what else you can do further down the line. But they're clearly very different characters. It feels very different when you're using them. I mean, I really like the way Emily felt and controlled, because it's different to Corvo. And I mean, Corvo, he's back and he's doing the same kind of stuff. It's not a great deal different, but it's still nice to have him there.
Do you think people will not play as him first time round because she's new, or do you think people will be like, oh no, I want to play as Corvo because that's Dishonored? What do you reckon?
I think it'll be a mixed bag. I think for the Dishonored fans, they'll want to see this new character, and the ones that have kind of seen her from when she was a kid in the first game. It's now 15 years later. She's become this like assassin since falling as an empress. So she's got a lot of intrigue about her, and just when they start to try to play as her, and they'll see the differences, and they're going to want to, I think, because I certainly did. I had much more fun playing as Emily this time round than I did as Corvo, but then that's because I've played Dishonored the first game, so it's nice and refreshing. But then at the same time, it was nice to be Corvo again, and it's interesting now how they're both voiced characters. And that I mean, there's the typical kind of gruff voice. It's nothing new, but it's still nice to finally hear them. And there's significant changes in terms of the powers and that, but the way the control is very, very similar, and not in a bad way, just very similar.
So I mean, before you played the game, how sort of where was it sitting for you in terms of like most anticipated, or were you fussed? I mean, where were you, and how are you feeling about it now?
I think after playing it, I'm a lot more excited than I was.
I
wasn't not excited for it. It's just there's a lot out. There's a lot of stuff that's out.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
it's hard to kind of.
It's November, isn't it?
Yeah, It's hard to gauge where you are with all these releases coming out and stuff. But I'm definitely looking forward to it now. I mean, if just on that level, it's not just about the way they control as well. It's the setting of it. It's so much crisper, and the detail in the littlest things are excellent.
What were you playing on? Because I looked at the footage and I thought it was console, but it seemed to be it's running at 60 frames as well.
It was on PC.
It was. I was going to say
this controller. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was then. I was confused because I was watching it, looking. This is definitely 60 frames, and I kept meaning to ask you. So, on PC, I must admit, it looks very, very nice.
Yeah, it is very nice. It just looks gorgeous, and the kind of the effort that's gone into the mansion itself, and I'm looking forward to see what the city looks like, and all the other surroundings and stuff. And they're just the villains in this one. There's you've got your enemies, the standard guards, human beings, and then they're the clockwork soldiers as well, they're kind of a lot more powerful than the standard guards, but they're a lot more interesting to take down. But they're also ruthless and attacking you and stuff. So you have to kind of change your tactics as well, and it just mixes things up. And it'd be interesting to see if they feature on later, or whether it was just in this mansion, because you're not entirely sure what the story is in the grand scheme.
No, and that's probably deliberate in terms of previews, and that drops someone in kind of in the middle of nothing. In terms of the gameplay, actually, I was going to ask you, is that something that people often talk about is that Dishonored is a game you can play entirely stealthily, or you can go guns blazing. Did you have any opportunity to try sort of both styles, and is there one you sided with more, or
So I love stealth games, but I'm shit at stealth games.
Yeah, same.
So I did try both. I mean, these new abilities make it a lot easier to be more stealthy with Emily, because you can, like as I say, you can do this domino straight away, attach them, sneak up, knock the other one over, the other one falls. The same with the shadow walk. You can stealthily run up behind one. It all happens so fast that nobody kind of notices. But there's a lot of kind of leeway into how you play this time round, and I think that the problem I had with Dishonored is that the stealth was good, but it was kind of you might not be very clear where an enemy is, and you could probably catch their attention a little too quickly, rather than like say Metal Gear, where they kind of you ping their interest and then they'll go and look for you, and then they'll find you. Whereas it all felt a bit too sudden in the first one. Whereas this one, it seems like that's been kind of stripped back a bit, and they are a bit more curious. It's not kind of instant, so there is a great chance to play as stealthily as you want to. Also, you can just go in there, knives blazing and take everyone out. So
in terms of that sort of the actual combat, like, because a lot of stealth games, if you play them well, I suppose it doesn't show up any inadequacies, because on the other hand, some of those games, when you do go full combat, and it's fine from what you can gather, like that is genuinely an option.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
I think the combat it's also a lot better than the first one. I think you feel like you have more control over it this time around.
Okay.
It's just been honed a lot more, and I mean the video that I managed to capture was about an hour and 20 minutes into my playthrough, so I played the mission a good 3 times, so I kind of knew where everyone was, so it felt a lot better to kind of to control as after a while. But it doesn't take long to pick up, and it's a lot more kind of, you got a lot more control with assassinations and even just face-to-face combat.
Okay. Well, we've also got an interview with Christophe Carrier, the level design director, I believe he is, that Dan did at EGX, and there's a little bit more footage in there, and obviously we asked him about whether he keeps SketchUp, and he's, for those who are long-standing supporters of GodisaGeek, they'll know what this means when I say he puts it in the right place. Chris, where can people find you on Twitter?
They can find me at FirstAvenger83.
Okay, I'm at GBSF, and of course at GodisaGeek, importantly, and patreon.com/GodisaGeek if you enjoy what we do and can spare £1 or $1 a month. Chris, thank you very much for going to that there Bethesda office and spending some time playing the game, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.